Hi, my name is Glenda Espinoza, and this is week 6, cooking with real food. And what I'm going to make is carne guisada, and then I'll pause in between to make some rice, and then I have some baked beans, homemade baked beans. So I'll pause, and then I will make some carne guisada, homemade Mexican rice with some beans. Um, Also, I'll pause in between a lot and not use 2 burners simultaneously. It might be embarrassing to say, but my right burner is not working. So I'll be working everything from my left burner. So we're going to get started with cutting up uh, some roast beef. It's right here from HEB, this roast beef from HEB. And then we're going to cut it up in some cubes. And in the meantime, we're going to turn on our Dutch oven on medium heat to start warming it up so we can add this in there. When I learned to cook from my mother, we never measure. It's just a dash of this and a dash of that. So, and a pinch of this. So our cooking oil is vegetable oil. This one is a Walmart brand. It's a great value. And you just want to put a little bit, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan, and plus a little flavor. So the way I usually cook is whatever I need, I place it out here, and then as I'm finished, I move it over to my left. And while this is getting ready, I want to cook. I want to have my water boiling on the side. So let me get on my camera. The view right here.
Yeah.
I put water in here, and it's a little kettle, and so I want to start boiling that while I start cutting up the roast beef. This one says beef chuck roast. In Spanish, it's called paletilla limpia. So this is what it looks like. It's very lean. It doesn't cost a whole lot. It's $11.83 for close to 3 pounds. And at this moment, I'll take a minute to introduce my son Anthony, who's helping me record the video. Stop. Helping me record the video to comply with week 6. So I will start cutting this up on my cutting board here. And because the pan is taking its time to warm up, what I do is I normally just, well, I washed my hands before I started, but I'll show you now. Just maybe about an inch in thickness. So I'll cut this whole thing this way. Some slices might be a little thinner, but that's okay. You can buy this meat already cubed, but of course it would cost you a little bit more, and my family size is 5, so I try to keep our costs low. It's the same quality of meat, it's just a little bit more labor. The other one is already cut and cubed. And I found that even when I buy it that way, I tend to cut it up anyway because I think the pieces are still too big and chunky, and it takes a little longer to cook. That's important of why you want to cut them nice and thin, maybe less than a half an inch, like less than an inch to maybe half an inch. Simply because it would take a little bit longer for it to cook if it's a little thicker. So as I'm cutting it up, I use my knife and toss it back over into its package until I get it all nice and cut and trimmed. I do this often, that it doesn't take me very long. If you freeze your meat and it's a little still frozen in the center. This one was fresh from H-E-B right now. That's our local grocery market. It's easier to cut, but it would take a little bit longer to cook. Take this over. And Anthony is my 10-year-old who's been helping me with this class and my nutrition program. We both are trying to lose some weight, trying to eat properly. We started to portion our food. He's also helped me make the exercise video. Are you getting my face? Anthony? Okay, just leave it like that. Okay. So the other thing I like to share is that Anthony is and he acknowledges, we've talked, he is a little on the heavy side, but he is trying really hard to eat healthy, and so am I, because I put on my weight too. And so this is a motivation for both of us to, and it's been fun as a mother and son to comply with these videos, because we really work together, and we've been helping each other throughout the journey of this whole program, not just integrative nutrition, but my other nutrition classes as well. And it has made a difference. He has lost inches, and so have I. And we've both lost a few pounds. So for Christmas, Anthony got a bicycle, and so now we started exercising, getting a little bit more active, and so that's really going to help us. So if you can move in, Anthony. If you want, I want to show you the meat. They sell it to you this way, where it's already cubed, but I went ahead and cut it, and I'm going to continue cutting it as bite size, I should say, like a bite size portion, like such. And so this way they do cut. I mean, they do cook a little faster, and they're not so big and tough when you eat it. A little bit of fat is not too bad, just to give it a little flavor. But if you get like a roast chuck or a roast beef that has a little too much fat, you want to make sure you trim that off. So we'll just keep cutting here, like such. And in the meantime, our skillet is heating up. If you get pieces like this, let me show you here. If you get pieces like this where you have nothing but fat and maybe just a little bit of meat, you might want to take that out. When you're eating it, it wouldn't be a good idea to eat just a piece of fat. So keep cutting, cubed, nice and portions, like bite size, maybe. I say they're about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So if you look at this here, this is a big chunk of fat on both sides. So this is the part that I say you might want to just take out. Get out of the way. Unless you have a little dog like we do, sometimes I leave him in there, but then I am conscious to take it out and just feed it to her on the side. It's just their nature of being canines that they like this red fatty meat as well. But eating this protein is part of real food. Like I've heard before, if our ancestors, cavemen, didn't eat it, then it's not real food. Fresh vegetables, we're going to put in a little bit of tomatoes in our carne guisada as opposed to tomato sauce. And I add them in big chunks. They're actually cherry tomatoes, but because some of my family members don't care for tomatoes, so they can just pick it up. Keep doing this here. It's almost cut up. Skillet's almost ready. I set the skillet at 3.5 if you have a digital or electric stove. If you have a propane or a natural gas stove, well, then I guess maybe on medium heat. Let me get a bowl to pour this into.
No, I don't think I was like.
What?
I don't think it was recording. Look.
What do you mean? It's red right here.
Oh,
It's recording.
no, I don't think it heard you.
It's okay. It's fine. Okay. So then we'll pause right now because I think we're having some technical difficulties, and so while Anthony checks that, I'm gonna keep dicing the meat. So we'll pause now.